Good morning.
Morning.
And welcome again to the vlog.
Indeed.
Today we are at Hungerford.
We are indeed, and we are going where?
Wow. Who can tell today?
Great Bedwin.
Do you think?
Hopefully Great Bedwin, yeah.
We're actually going to be crossing counties today.
Yeah, going from Berkshire to Wiltshire. So that happens around about Froxfield, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So hopefully it's, what is it, 8 miles? No, 4 miles, 8 locks.
Something like that.
Yeah.
4 miles, 9 locks, I think.
Ah, right, okay. Well, you know how terrible we are at reaching our intended destination. So we will see how far we get today, but the plan is to get to Bedwin.
Let's see how we go.
See you when we get there.
So we're just leaving the mooring spot now. I'm going to walk up to the next lock and set it before Mark comes through. Mark's coming along now. You can see all the autumn leaves are changing. Got a bit of a flow coming out on this side here, which may push him over to the opposite side, but we'll see.
Lock number 1. This lock's got a sluice that comes out on the left-hand side. So as you come in the lock, you have to go to the far right and steer into the sluice, so that as it pushes you across, you can then whack on some speed and then get into the lock straight without hitting the wall. Today, winning at life.
We've got a sign on this lock saying Canam River Trust apologise for any inconvenience caused by the malfunction of this structure, but the date and details have all been wiped off, so no idea.
Cobbler's lock was interesting. When the lock fills, it creates pressure on the right hand gate, which isn't aligned properly, and so as a result it squeezes the lock out of alignment so the gates don't join in the middle, and then what happens is the water squeezes down the side of the lock, so you never quite reach, well, equilibrium, I suppose. You never quite reach the optimum water pressure so that you can open the gate. So I had to employ the help of some passers-by to get the gate open. It took 3 of us.
So one lock down and we're starting to get more into the countryside. We've left Hungerford now, and definitely the Kennet and Avon Canal is definitely beautiful. It's a tricky canal, but it is stunning. And you've got the river down there, which actually goes underneath the canal. All the apples growing on the tree there, and some sloes. Got the best of both there. So I'm on the front of the boat, and I've got a few important bits that I always carry with me. Got our map to let us know where we're going, and also a pair of binoculars, which is really good because you're never quite sure if a boat's coming towards you or going away from you. I always stand on the front of the boat when we're on the canals because we are obviously a larger vessel, and I need to make sure nothing's coming round the bends because Mark is 65 foot away, and you know, he will see it a lot later than I will. So I always stand on the front and give him fair warning of what is coming round the bend. So I've just showed Mark what side the lock landing is by just raising the rope on this left hand side, so he can see we need to go over to the lock landing, and I'll do the lock. This is Picketfield's lock.
Okay, second lock of the day. I'm not quite sure what this one's called, but again there's another sluice that comes out, this time from the right hand side. As you approach this lock, you can see on the starboard side is a sluice. Now this can create problems for boats because as the water rushes out with such force, it pushes the boat to the opposite bank. The key to this one is to steer the boat towards the sluice, the water flow, and then at the last minute, as you just about to enter the lock, you power on, and you can see from the back of the boat the water and the spray. You can see where I power on as I enter the lock. Luckily on this occasion I didn't hit the wall. So this is lock 71. This one doesn't have a name, I don't think. Nah, doesn't have a name. We'll call it lock 71.
So the first thing that I do is give Mark a thumbs up and see if he's okay. So on this lock there is a lovely little thing to step on, which is nice. And then the water coming out here is actually coming from this channel here, which is taking excess water away from the pound at the top here and taking it further down. Look at these leaves, it is definitely autumn. Absolutely beautiful day. So at the moment, whenever we go through a lock, I've got some hand gel which I use to sanitize my hands because of the COVID outbreak. It is actually getting worse here in the UK. In fact, I think it's one of the worst, unfortunately. So every time we go through a lock or touch anything, we put some hand sanitizer on. So one of the things we are having to think about at the moment is winter stoppages. On the canal system there is always some stoppages going on over the winter period when there's less traffic, I suppose, on the waterways. On the Kennet and Avon Canal there's quite a few stoppages, which means that people are going to be put into very small areas on the canal. You can either be, I think that's a train. Can't see it. So everyone's going to be put into very small areas. I think one stretch is going to be about 5 miles, the other is about 15 miles, and there'll be stoppages either side, so you won't be able to go through anywhere. So that's something we need to be thinking about at the moment. But how beautiful is this? At the front of the boat you can't hear the engine as much, and so you can listen to all the sounds of the wildlife and the birds around you. That was a kingfisher. Don't know whether you saw that. Just went into the water and back out again. We'll see if we can zoom in. I say you can hear the sounds of the wildlife, unfortunately. We are literally next to the A road at the moment.
Trees I'd like to come back reincarnated as. It's a bit zen that, isn't it? But this one is absolutely gorgeous. More trees I'd like to be. How about this one? You just gotta love Mother Nature, haven't you? Absolutely beautiful.
You hear the goldfinches. So this is Froxfield Bridge, Bridge 90, and this is where we go from Berkshire through to Wiltshire. So here we go. Welcome to Wiltshire.
How pretty is this bridge?
And this lock is Froxfield Bottom Lock.
And it's another lock with a sluice. So far that's 3 locks, 3 sluices to the side that push you out, but no walls hit. Winning at life. Lock 69. We're getting there, folks. This is Froxfield. I'd say we're a third, maybe halfway there.
And we're coming up to a little village called Little Bedwin, which actually reminds me of a Hornby Railway set. It's very pretty. An unusual bridge. It's a road bridge and then it goes over the railway as well. An unusual ceiling. If only you could smell these, they're gorgeous. Mark down there on the centre line, just pulling the boat in.
You can tell this lock is still empty because you can see the ripples on top of the water. When the ripples stop, we know that the lock is empty. Unfortunately, this lock is so leaky that there's just as much water coming in as there is going out. I think this is lock number 66. Only one more to go, I think. and then we'll be in the town of Great Bedwin, where we'll moor up, use the services, and then probably use the winding hole in a couple of days' time, turn around and go all the way back again before they close this end of the canal for the winter stoppages. They're closing, I believe, all the way from Froxfield to Crofton to do work on the locks, the pumping station, and various other maintenance repairs.
Come to do some work?
Sorry?
Come to do some work?
I do all the work.
Do you know what you're doing?
Yes, I do. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Do you?
Yeah. Beautiful scenery.
Stunning, isn't it? I must admit, I do love Wiltshire.
Yeah, me too.
It's a good job we've only got one lock after this. Then we should be in Great Bedwin. That's not very long come down, I don't think. So where we are, last year in about March time, we were actually moored near here, and like the tree that you've just seen that's come down, there were a few other trees that were down, and we were allowed to forage for some wood. So the wood that we've got on our roof is actually from here last year, and it's still seasoning on the top. We did also pick up some really nice long lengths of branch that Mark's been making into some walking sticks. So I'll show you some walking sticks later on and what he's done.
Thank you for the mention for the walking sticks, Julie. Let's show the folks what I do. These all came from branches that we picked up along the towpath. None of them were cut from trees, they were all fallen branches that we just find in the hedgerows and the towpaths. And what I do is I carve walking sticks. This one's a bit Gandalfy. It's got a nice little point on the end, but I like them because they are gnarly and bent, and they have lots of quirks in them. I also do slightly more refined ones. This is one that I made for Julie. The head was painted by Julie, but I carved the head in the shape of her hair, and then what we did was we found a lovely straight stick and we carved the patination into it just so that it would look decorative. And it's a hobby that I did start doing when I went onto the boat. I didn't do this before. I've never picked up a whittling knife or carved anything before in my life, but it was when we went onto the boat that I thought I've got to do something with my spare time, and that's what I've done. So these are the sticks that I make. Apologies for this brief interlude in the vlog. I'm now going to hand you back to Julie so we can carry on with our journey.
So the last lock completed. We're in Great Bedwin now. Mark's just going to go and see if he can find a mooring spot. Fingers crossed. So we're going to come through the bridge onto the service point, fill up with water, and then we might turn around and go back to a space we've just seen, or we'll go forward through the next lock. Let's wait and see. This video was filmed mid-October, wasn't it?
Yeah, about the 15th I think, so long before lockdown was even a glint in the milkman's eye.
Yeah, so you're going to get a couple of videos from us that were filmed before lockdown. This one goes from Hungerford to Great Bedwin.
Indeed, yeah.
Where we met the wonderful Dave the Duck.
Yeah, Dave the Duck, what a character. He's well known in Bedwin to the boaters. Well, he's well known I think to the locals too.
Yeah.
He taps on your window and he begs for food constantly, and he even came onto the boat. He's that tame.
He's come to visit us. So friendly. Let's find you some sweet corn. So we fed him lots of sweet corn and other bits and pieces.
Yeah, gave him some water. There was a few sort of rough days with the weather, and we thought we'd put some water out for him. He's a bit overweight, so he didn't seem like he liked getting into the canal. So we weren't sure that he was actually drinking. He must be somewhere, but
I think he is, but fresh water's nicer than canal water.
yeah, I think it's fair to say though that he's not the best looking duck in the world. I think if he was a human, he'd be Keith Richards. Yeah, he's like the Keith Richards of the duck world.
Oh, he did pull some funny faces.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but so does Keith Richards, to be honest.
Yeah.
Although not so much nowadays. I mean, he's more comatose, isn't he, Keith Richards these days? But anyway.
Can we say a massive thank you to a couple of people this week?
Indeed, yep. Dave and Heather, they knocked on the boat a few days ago and left us some poppadoms, which was much appreciated. We did put them to good use.
Yeah, we did nip into the local village and get a takeaway from the Indian takeaway there.
We did, and we used the poppadoms that Dave and Heather from Narrowboat, Moo Le Rouge, donated.
Yes, we'd also like to say a massive thank you to Danny and Diana.
Indeed, thank you very much, guys. It's always appreciated when people show support for the channel.
Yes, so they donated through our PayPal link.
Yeah.
And we will be putting that to very good use.
We will indeed. And if you like this video,
if you could give it a thumbs up.
Don't forget to subscribe, and when you do so, don't forget to click the bell icon somewhere here, which gives you future notifications of when we post new videos. Don't forget to leave us a comment in the comment box below. We love your comments. We answer every single one. I know we say that every single week, but we do answer every single one, and they're the highlight of our week, I think, the comments.
If you'd like to support the channel, we've got a few different ways that you can do that. We've got a PayPal link and also a Patreon page. Yeah,
the links to those are in the description below. It's completely voluntary. You don't have to do it, but it is very much appreciated if you do, and when people do. It helps us to keep making the videos, and it helps us to buy equipment and do basic maintenance on the boat. So, as I say, it's completely voluntary, but thank you if you do feel that you want to support the channel.
And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.